Hi there. Welcome to another exciting episode of Your Money in Real Estate. My name is Mark Vasilius, and we're going to take a bit of a turn today because normally we talk about, your money in real estate. We talk about money and stuff, but we're going to be talking about renovations and making money. And I've got the really sharp, good-looking guy, Ian Sabo.
Thanks.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Now, we've got a lot to talk about. I know you just got here, we're getting to know each other, but it sounds like you've got quite a history. I read a little bit of the book there, and why don't you tell me a little bit about how you got into, even before getting into real estate, how you got into even the renovation business, I guess.
Sure. Basically, from 16 to 36, I was a professional chef.
You're not over 25. What the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm a little bit older. I'm a little bit older than that. But from 16 to 26, I was a chef, and I traveled around, and my last job was at the Granite Club. I represented Canada in the Culinary Olympics.
Wow.
Yeah, so I did all this kind of crazy organizing as a chef, and people think you go from a chef to a renovator or an author or flipping houses. How does that make any sense? But when you actually go through it all, it's a process.
Sure. Life is a process.
Yeah.
Sure.
You trade food for wood and basically...
You mix it up in a pot and you see what the hell you get.
Exactly. So at one point at 26, I got married, and I said, you know what, this is crazy. No matter how successful I was.
Getting married's crazy?
Married is awesome. Getting married is awesome. But being chained to a stove wasn't such a good thing. So I decided that I wanted to change in careers, and I started painting houses.
Wow.
Yeah, so I went from eating foie gras and caviar and champagne to painting houses for $10 an hour. And,
wow.
And I said, there has to be a better way.
So you're making $100 an hour as a chef. You go to $10 an hour painting, and then you question that decision again and say there's got to be another way.
Well, I knew that if I could, as a chef, I needed to be there. I had 150 staff under me, so no matter what, I needed to be there. No matter what I did, I was chained to a stove.
Yeah.
So I said I wanted some kind of a venue or an avenue or an investment that I could actually create and walk away from and let someone else pay for it, or I could sell it or refinance it. So the problem was at 26, I had no career to do renovations. I didn't go to school. I was self-taught. So I just started at the bottom and started working. I created a company called Poverty Line Painters, PLP.
Poverty Line.
I still have it today, actually, yeah.
You got a good sense of humor, too.
I try to have some fun. You got to have some fun. So I started doing that, and then I got picked up by HGTV, W Network. I started doing renos on TV.
Oh, fantastic.
And then I said, I'm not really an actor. I'd rather just do the work behind the scenes and get actually paid for it. So then I started doing that, and then next thing you know, I'm doing 1 flip, 2 flips, and I fired all my clients.
So when you say you did, 1 flip, 2 flips, you mean you actually started getting into investing in real estate?
Yeah.
Or explain a little bit about how that.
So how I started was, I like doing renovations for customers. I like the interaction with people, but
Sure.
what I didn't like was the control and the middleman situation where if I come and renovate your basement for $25,000 and you go and sell your house, you're going to make $10,000 on the work that I did.
Okay.
Also, I didn't like the creativity as a homeowner. If I'm working for you, you're kind of dictating to me what I need to do. And I'm more or less, as a chef and a developer, I'm kind of like an artist. I like to
do your own thing.
Do my own thing. I don't want to have boundaries. I just want to explore and do things differently. So I started doing 1 flip a year. So I told all my customers, these 3 months, I can't work for you, I'm sorry. I'm going to be doing flips. And it went from 1 and then to 2 and to 3 and then up to 5 to 10 a year.
So you obviously you went from painting to general renovations and like general contracting for homeowners or
yeah.
How did that sort of work?
I started working for homeowners and I started working for production companies. And the cool thing was I kind of learned on TV, right? So I got to make all my mistakes in someone else's house, right?
It's like you're doing right now. You're
exactly.
just sort of going as you go.
Exactly. So it was a lot of fun.
And so because we talk about investing in real estate here, what made you decide to actually own the property? I understand from the you wanted to flip it and there was a control side, but was there any motivation from the money side or the value, or was it just like what got you into the investing of the real estate part?
Well, the first part was the challenge because realistically or not, there was a huge challenge for me going from a chef to the renovation part. And then there was no information on how to do this. There's just TV shows to follow, which don't make any sense in my opinion, a lot of them. So I figured out a way to how to do it. But then it was like, okay, now that I've done it and it's successful and it's working, and the first 5 flips I didn't make any money and I slept on insulation, how am I going to be able to transform this into a viable business? So I started doing flips. And then I started saying, well, you know what? If I build a triplex or a duplex creatively with the techniques that I used from, the stuff on TV shows and nice ceilings and everything and jazz it up a bit, I can get more rent than the average investor.
Right.
So instead of getting $850 where I live in Whitby, I'm getting $1250. So I figured, you know what? It doesn't really matter, this risk thing of flipping. It doesn't really matter. My intent is to keep them. But if someone's willing to pay what I'm willing to sell it for,
sure,
great. If it doesn't sell, I don't really care because I can refinance it. So part of, back to your original question, is I don't want to work a full year. I'm kind of like a firefighter, except I don't save anybody's lives. I save houses. So
okay.
when there's a fire, I put the fire out. I work really, really, really hard, 12, 14 hours a day. And then after that, the other half of the year, I'm washing my truck and I'm kind of just relaxing with my new daughter.
Right. I wanted to, just in case some of you out there don't realize that he's got a book from Renos to Riches. And obviously you can tell from his experience, he's quite a lively guy. He's got a lot of stories. What we're going to do is, for the first few callers, we're going to give this book away. So why don't you give us a call, get some questions going for Ian. And but we're going to get back into, so it's a book to get. Trust me, you're gonna make a lot of money for it. Now, when you mentioned that you lost money on your first few flips, I'm gathering that was what the school of hard knocks, like losing money. Was that you overran out? Is that part of your book, or is that in your
there's
book?
a lot of personal stories in here that are really touching to me, that will really inspire people to do this. And part of my purpose is to give back, because a lot of real estate educators sell a template and say, this is the template, follow this, you're going to make all the money. But at the end of the day, that doesn't work.
Every deal is different.
Absolutely. So, it was interesting. I really enjoyed it.
So I like talking about the good and the bad, because, I've had some good deals and I've had some bad deals, and I'd like to talk, how did you lose money? Meaning, did you put too much money into the renos, because we've had some calls where people say, oh, all you do is talk about all the good stuff of real estate. I said, hold on. I mean, there's bad tenants, there's bad renovations, there's bad this, and you're the perfect guy to say, I did a bad renovation.
I think my first mistake was I was an insecure contractor when I started out doing flips. So somebody else approached me that had funds and said, hey, Ian, would you do this flip? And we're willing to put up the money and you put up the hard work. And I didn't stand my ground in the beginning. I didn't say, you know what, you're wrong, this doesn't make sense, this property is not going to work. But I just kind of went ahead with it. I didn't trust my gut. I didn't trust my soul and say, you know what? I knew something was wrong, and I knew the property, some weird stuff going on, but I didn't have the confidence at the beginning to say, you know what? That's not a good idea. I don't think we should be doing this. So what ended up happening was we bought a house that had tremendous problems, crazy stuff. They had fence posts for beams. They had rats. They had foundation issues.
That's common.
Foundation issues. So I didn't trust my instincts, but realistically, there's nothing to fall back on. There's really no school. And that's why I created Flip School, because it's basically an opportunity for someone to come in that has no experience and say, here's a buffet of stuff. Pick and choose what you like from my business, and then next time you come to the buffet, you don't eat the same thing.
Right.
So
you tied into some guys with money, which is like a joint venture, I guess.
Yeah.
So you figured out that joint venture, which we talk a lot about. And they dictated because they had the money. So it sounds like, they were saying, we should do it this way. And I guess you trusted them. And you lost money because you ended up flipping it and no one made money in the deal? Or is it that?
Actually, the deal was funny because the person that purchased the property, the investor, actually used that as a tool for their business to promote someone from the UK to come over and live in the house. So the intent wasn't actually to sell it in the end. So
you had no exit strategy.
There's no exit strategy, and that's a big part of what I do now is 3 or 4 exit strategies for sure.
Now, you mentioned very quickly there, which I wanted to hone in on, and we're going to get to in a later part of the show, is a thing called Flip School.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that, but we're going to get back to that because that's where the phone calls will probably start going. But tell me a little bit about that.
Flip School is awesome. Basically what it is I buy a house. I only have 6 to 10 people that I handpick, so I have usually 20 or 30 people that apply, and I interview them, and because I'm spending over 120 hours with you, let's say. Okay. And I need to like you, I need to trust you. And I buy a house with my own money, and the whole premise of the school is people come into my house and they get to see my business opened up.
Wow, that's a fantastic idea. Anyone out there listening and wants to give us a call, you can, because he's got Flip School.
Flip School, baby.
Flip School, yeah. And you just heard what he said. You can get into and watch him how he does it. And I think there's probably a lot of investors. Is it for full-time guys, like full-time contractors, or is it for investors? Like, who would be the typical target?
Actually, the funny thing is, I'm not really sure, because I'm getting middle-aged women, I'm getting middle-aged men, I'm getting lawyers, I'm getting doctors. I'm getting all kinds of different people. I'm getting contractors. I'm getting mechanic, plumbers. It's really interesting. It's basically for someone that's sick of their rat race, sick of working 9 to 5 for somebody else. You know what I mean? And they can kind of come in and choose what they want to do. So I'm not expecting them to learn how to put tiles down professionally, but they need to know when they're talking to a contractor, this is the exact what I need. This is the underlayment, this is the cement, this is the tile, this is how it's laid. Otherwise, our business as investors is houses. And in this industry, houses isn't taught a lot. It's how to find money, how to raise money, how to negotiate deals. And
sure, and that's I love talking about that. But that's why I'm saying you're one of the unique guys. But you're a big reality of the day-to-day business of managing your property, which is leaky taps, redoing a bathroom, kicked in walls, bad tenants, whatever. Guy like you comes in and keeps your asset on the positive side.
Absolutely, and it's a lot of fun. Like, I actually enjoy doing the renos. I was renovating a hoarder house today that we're adding a 2-story addition on, as you can see from my hands. I'm ripping out subfloors, I'm digging holes, and that's what I love to do.
Wow, so you're truly a hands-on guy.
Yeah.
So let's get into a little bit of from renos to riches. What obviously there's a lot of books, there's a lot of other guys doing renovations, but what's different about renos to riches versus, I don't want to say plethora, but there's quite a few. I don't want to mention names because we all know there's some big guys in Canada that talk about renovations.
Yeah, I like the big guys because actually
they're all got the same haircut as you too for some reason.
They're not as good looking, not as smart, I don't think. But
okay, I'll agree.
But basically, it's designed for the everyday homeowner. It's designed for the first-time real estate investor to kind of find ways to renovate the property without overexpending. A lot of the stuff that we're getting fed down the pipeline through media and other things is usually products that are more expensive.
Okay.
So I am the only contractor. I read an article for Canadian Contractor Magazine.
Excellent.
I'm the only contractor that says I build minimum code, and I'm happy to do so because that's how I make money.
You build minimum code.
I'm happy to build minimum code, but I design high end. So I'll build minimum code just like every other 100,000 houses that are built in Ontario a year.
Yeah.
And I design high end, so like $1 million house. So I put waffle ceilings and crown molding. And a lot of this book kind of just dissects my day-to-day, the difference between a $5,000 bathroom and $2,000 bathroom.
Okay. Now, is it targeted for the investor, or is it or the average homeowner, or like?
The weird thing is it's targeted for the investors or new investors, but a lot of homeowners are picking it up and saying, you know what, we're in a recession, we're not making any money, I don't want to hire a contractor to do this, I'm not really sure how to do a bathroom.
Sure.
But why not use some products that work? They work for me, and let's put them to good use and maybe refinance their personal residence to buy another property, or maybe help them fix up their place before they can sell it. Because realistically, buying expensive products to fix up your home right now and in this time of market is not a good idea.
And you're touching on obviously something that we drill down on the investment side and buying multiple properties. But I don't think the words have never come out of my mouth about dealing with your number one asset, which is your principal residence. So obviously there's advantages, there's tax advantages, but obviously a renovation for your home. Would you say that there's a different type of renovation versus home versus investor?
For me, it's actually unique, and I get a lot of flack from it. But actually, I design properties that are kind of high end. They have wainscoting, they have hardwood floors, they have waffle ceilings, they have a lot of good stuff. But I do it affordably. I don't go out and buy high-end fixtures. I design high-end, so I'm using pieces of leftover drywall to make a coffered ceiling because it's only 6 inches high and I can mud the whole seam. So it doesn't matter if I had seams every couple inches. But to answer your question, yeah, I think it's important that you design it properly. Like my flip and my rental are exactly the same product.
Really?
Yeah.
So you don't find, I came from the school that, it's a rental property, so therefore you got to put if you're fixing a bathroom or kitchen, you don't want to put granite down or other things like that. But you're saying you put the same whether it's a home or an investment.
Yeah, my flips are typically multifamilies where we take a single family and we convert it into a duplex, or we take a single family and convert it into a fourplex. And I think as any new investor trying to learn to get in this business, that's a really, really safe way if you're educated, not just going out there and cowboying it, but to add value. Because as you know, the baby boomers, 25% of the population is getting older and retiring. We're going to be having people come in and...
We're going to take a quick break. We're going to get right back to it. Again, give us a call. You can get a free book if you got some questions about renovations. We're going to be right back with Ian Sabo and on Your Money in Real Estate. See you soon.